Hi all, I think I'm live now. If you can see me, if you can hear me, if everything is good, can you guys please message in the chat? Hi Sachin Chandra Joshi. Hi Arvind. Shank. Everything is good, audio, video. Hi Kabir. Hi Shrikant. So this session we'll be looking at number systems. In general, in number systems we'll be looking at, I think most of the questions today are in remainder theorem. There is no specific remainder theorem that we are looking at. Mostly we'll be looking at some of the few remainder theorems. There will be questions which will ask you to find out either the remainder or the last digit or the sum of the last two digits or the sum of all the digits. So those kind of questions will be there in today's session. I think there are also some other questions with respect to factors and what is the LCM. Those kind of questions also I think are there. Hi Karsh. Hi Manjula. I hope everything is good. If you guys have just joined, I think there are around 100 people who have joined. If you guys can like the stream, that will be very useful because then it will show to more people and more people will join us. As usual, there will be 8 questions today. The first 2 questions I put them to be on the slightly easier side just to motivate people, just to improve their morale. But I know for sure that some of the questions are fairly tough, so don't get demotivated. But there are also, as I said, the first 1 or 2 questions I think are quite easy. If you know the basics of the remainder theorems, you should be able to solve them. If you want to join the test, which I would strongly recommend, please go to kraku.in/live. If you go to kraku.in/live, you will be able to join the test. The test will start at exactly 9 p.m. There seems to be some lag with respect to my pen. Just give me 1 minute, I'll try to fix it. It is blurred. Just give me 1 minute, I'll try to open it again. The tab was open for way too long because I hope things will improve now. Anyway, the session will start at exactly 9 p.m. If you want to take part in it, please go to kraku.in. Yeah, I think this looks better now. Just go to kraku.in/live and the test will start at exactly 9 p.m. We'll be looking at 8 questions. Some questions will have just 2 minutes, but there are some questions which are slightly on the more difficult side. They will have, I think, around 3 minutes. So each of them has a different time limit. But the test will start loading at 9 p.m. Once the question loads, like always, we'll give 2-3 minutes for people to solve. In the meantime, I'll be taking some questions. And once the time limit is over, we will be looking at the answers. I'll give the explanation. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Before that, you can please message on the chat if you have any doubts. I'll try to answer them. The test will start at exactly 9 p.m. So if you want to invite any friends of yours to join, please ask them to go to kraku.in/live. The questions will be loaded in that page. Sachin Prajapati is saying, sir, how should I join the live test? Yeah, to join the live test, please go to kraku.in/live. Once you go to kraku.in/live at 9 p.m., that is in another 10 minutes or so, the questions will start coming. Hemant Singh is saying, sir, 36 in DLR in 40 minutes is good. 36 would mean you are getting 3 sets with 100% accuracy. I think 36 is a very good score. I think 36 you should be definitely maybe 99 in DLR, I would think. But again, we don't really know the paper or how many questions are there. But roughly I would think it will be a very good score for sure. Nipun Arora is saying daily target is nice. Thanks a lot, Nipun. We put a lot of effort into the Kraku daily targets. In my opinion, the best way to practice for CAT is solving the CAT daily targets, especially for students who are taking the daily targets in the last 6-7 months. We started it, I think, in December of last year. So people who are regularly taking the Kraku daily targets, many of them tell me, I get this feedback nearly every day, that because they're taking the Kraku daily targets every day, their speed and accuracy has improved. But these are the guys who were taking it consistently. They were taking it every day for the last 4 or 5 months. Vinod Kumar Meena is saying, do we have to carry the COVID test report? I heard this, but I don't think it is true, in my opinion. And I'm quite convinced that it is, as somebody said, fake news. Because if it was actually true, I would have heard about it for sure from many other sources, not just one source. Gautam Raju is saying, sir, like last stream, can you revise a few concepts? Okay, because you asked this, I'll tell you one important reminder theorem. Not really important, but it is a theorem that I like and I use quite often. This is called the Wilson's theorem. Wilson's theorem is used to find out the reminders. So if you have a prime number p, then you have p minus 1 factorial. If you have p minus 1 factorial and then you add 1 to it, this is definitely divisible by p. This is true when p is a prime number. So for example, if you are looking at say 7 is a prime number, so 7 minus 1 is 6 factorial. So 6 factorial plus 1 will be definitely divisible by 7. You can extend it up to any number. So for example, if your 6 factorial is 720 and 720 plus 1 is 721. So this is divisible by 7. Similarly, you take any other prime number, you can take say 11. So you know that 10 factorial plus 1 will be divisible by 11. This is the Wilson's theorem. I can give you one corollary of Wilson's theorem, but I'll give that to you after the first question, because the first question is based on Wilson's theorem and the corollary that I actually wanted to tell you. That also I think is known to many people, but that is completely what the first question is based on. So try to solve it on your own and then I'll give you the corollary. Sachin Prajapati is saying, what is your strategy for CAT? How to start the examination? As I was telling this to many students before also, the start is extremely important, super important, because you have only 40 minutes now. If you don't answer a question especially in LRDI, if you don't get a set correct in the first 10 to 15 minutes, then there will be just unbelievable pressure on yourself, which is not a good idea. So in my opinion, especially in LRDI, go through all the sets, try to figure out the set which you are sure you will be able to answer. You might think that, okay, this is difficult or I don't know, but you will get that idea after you have some practice. You have to figure out at least 1 or 2 sets which you think you will be definitely able to answer and try to get it correct in the first 10 minutes. That I think is very, very important, and that will decide whether you will be able to do well or you are not able to do well. Guys, there are 210 people who are live on the stream. If you guys can like the stream, that will be very useful. It will reach many people and then more people will be able to join us. So just please like the stream. That will be, I like it very much. Today's questions I think are slightly tricky. They are not very trivial. So please keep your pen and paper ready. Please keep a book ready. It will take, as I was telling you, the first 2-3 questions I think are slightly easy, but after that you will definitely need your pen and paper. Anybody who wants to join our Telegram group, we have a very active Telegram group. There are more than 6,500 people. All of these guys are active CAT aspirants. Please join our Telegram group. The Telegram group link can be found in the chat. Join this Telegram group. To join the Telegram group, you have to install an app called Telegram, which I think most of you would already know. But if you don't know, please install this Telegram app and join our Telegram group. It is very similar to the WhatsApp app that you use. Also, we'll plan to do a lot of these streams in the coming 10 days. We did a stream on Monday. We are doing it today. We'll most likely do another stream on Friday, and likewise maybe one stream every 2 days or so. So I would request you to please subscribe to our channel and please click on the bell icon, because once you click on the bell icon, most of our streams will be impromptu streams. These are streams that we plan with like say 2-3 hours ahead. So it will be difficult for us to really give you a schedule or intimate you. So if you subscribe and click on the bell icon, you will get a notification whenever we go live. So as I was telling you, in another 4 minutes, we'll be starting the live test. I would strongly recommend that you go to Kraku.in/live and try to attempt these questions on your own. Don't just try to look for the answers. Don't try to look just for the explanations. Give your best, try to answer it on your own, and then you will be able to understand the explanation better. If you're just watching the explanation in a passive manner, I don't think you'll be able to understand the explanation well. So please go to Kraku.in/live and try to answer the questions. In the meantime, in the next 3 minutes, I'll try to answer some questions that you would have asked. Prabhat Dayal is saying, I just wish I found Krakow earlier. Daily targets are truly helpful. Thanks a lot, Prabhat. I get this feedback quite a lot, as I mentioned earlier. Many people really like the Krakow daily targets, and many people even find our Krakow mocks to be very useful. The CAT mocks that we have launched, they are taken by thousands of people. For example, the first Dash Cat 1 is taken by more than 3,000 people. So 3,000 plus paid users, all of them are taking these Dash Cats, which will also be, it is also a reflection on how good your percentile is. I know that 3,000 aspirants taking our Dash Cats might be less than the actual number, which is say 2 lakh people who are taking the CAT examination. But on some level, to understand your relative preparation, I think it is not a bad base of students to target. Sachin Prajapati is saying, sir, how did you score 100 percentile? See, I'm doing so many streams. We design the Dash Cats. I make videos for the daily target. So you know how many questions I solve. I probably more questions than an average CAT aspirant. So if I'm putting so much effort in actually making these videos, then I become quite good at answering the questions. Raghuir is saying, sir, please do one more motivational session. Motivational session, let me think about it. Probably I'll do it. Let us see. There are 2 minutes left. If you want to take part in the live test, please go to krakow.in/live. Today we'll have 8 questions. All of them are based on number systems. This is a good way to revise all the important concepts in the number system. So try to attempt them. If you have any doubts or if you have any queries, let me know. Souvik Roy is saying, I'm taking 1 mock a day with full analysis since the last 4 days, and I intend to continue this till 27th. I think that is an excellent strategy. Continue doing that. I think that is the best way in which you can prepare, especially because a mock is only for 2 hours. You will be able to take 1 mock every day or 1 mock every 2 days. So there is no problem. I would just say don't burn out. If you are taking till 27, that is good. I just don't want you to feel that you're taking too many mocks or you're very tired while attempting a mock. So try to maybe cut down from say 25th or 26th. It is up to you. 27th also is probably okay. But I plan to cut off everything from I think around 25th so that I can focus only on the examination. Parth Chavda is saying, mock analysis, especially the graph ones, are very creative. Thanks a lot, Parth. A lot of effort has gone into it from our tech team. So I'm sure they will be very happy that it is useful to many students. Okay, in another 1 minute, we'll be starting the live test. Anybody who wants to take part in the test, please go to krakow.in/live. We'll be loading the first question in another 1 minute or so. Mayur Shinde is saying, sir, approximate score for 90%. Mayur, please don't spam so many times. If you want to know the answer, we'll tell you. But if anybody is spamming so much, it just makes it very difficult for anybody else to ask questions. And it is actually very rude. So don't do that. In general, I feel 90%, I don't know, man. Let us see, let us see how many questions will come. A good rough estimate is look at 90% score last time and multiply it by 2 by 3. That I think is the estimate that we can give. But again, I'm not so sure. Unless we know the number of questions, it is just too premature to make assumptions for 90%, 95% and all. Just give your best and hope to do well. Don't commit any silly mistakes. Divya Mamasti is saying, sir, humbly request you to keep the video saved as video to watch later option. I really need this lesson and I missed the lecture. Yeah, we'll definitely have this in our YouTube channel. Okay, guys, we'll be starting the test very soon. In the next 15 seconds or so, we'll be launching it. If you want to take part in the test, please go to krakow.in/live. The first question will be loaded in the next few seconds. Anybody who's watching the stream, please like the stream so that it will reach more people. The first question will be there on your screen any moment now. We have 280 people who are watching the stream live. That is good. This is an easy question as I mentioned earlier. it is a good way to start the session so that many people will be able to get it correct. This is based on the Wilson's theorem that I just described earlier. We have close to 300 people. If you guys can like the stream, that will be very useful. This is an easy question. I hope to see at least 100 people get this correct. There are 49 people who have gotten it correct and 30 people who have gotten it wrong. If you can have 100 people get it correct, that will be a good start. It will be a positive start to the session. Sovic Roy is saying, I found Dashcat 12 LRDI to be a tad difficult than others. I think all our Dashcats, there are some sets which will be easy and some sets which will be very difficult. So I think the key, not just in our Dashcats, but in any examination, any mock, even in the actual examination, is to select the right sets and don't get tempted by some set which looks easy but it's a time guzzler. And if you feel that you are wasting a lot of time, you should be able to leave that set and go to the next set. Anil Tadikamala is saying, daily target is very good initiative from Kraku. It helped me boost my concepts and understanding. Kudos to the Kraku team. Thanks a lot, Anil. This is a feedback that we receive quite often about our Kraku daily targets. I'm quite happy that it has helped you a lot. So let us look at this question. Let us look at the answer. I think 99 people have gotten it correct. I was hoping that 100 people would get it correct, but maybe that was expecting too much. Anyway, so in this question we are asked to find out the remainder when 65 factorial is divided by 67. As I mentioned earlier, we have the Wilson's theorem. And what does the Wilson's theorem say? Wilson's theorem says that if p is a prime number, then p minus 1 factorial plus 1 is divisible by p. A corollary of that is that p minus 2 factorial will leave a remainder of 1 when divided by p. So if p is a prime, you have p minus 1 factorial plus 1 is divisible by p, and p minus 2 factorial will leave a remainder of 1 when divided by p. So for example, in this case, when you have 67, which is a prime number, 66 factorial plus 1 is divisible by 67. This is of the form 67 into k. If you know the corollary, you can say that, okay, because 67 is a prime, 65 factorial will leave a remainder of 1 when divided by 67, or you can actually derive it based on the Wilson's theorem. Wilson's theorem says 66 factorial plus 1 is equal to 67k. What is 66 factorial? This is equal to 66 into 65 factorial. So 66 into 65 factorial plus 1 is of the form 67k. Now we are required to find out the remainder when 65 factorial is divided by 67. So what we'll do is we'll add 65 factorial on the left hand side and we'll add 65 factorial on the right hand side. So you add 65 factorial over here and you add 65 factorial over here. So the left hand side becomes equal to 67 into 65 factorial plus 1 is equal to 67k plus 65 factorial. Or if you take 67k to the left hand side, you will know that 65 factorial is equal to 67 into 65 factorial minus k plus 1. This is a multiple of 67. So when 65 factorial is divided by 67, the remainder will be 1. And you can extend it to any prime number. If you have a prime number p and you are given p minus 2 factorial, p minus 2 factorial will always leave a remainder of 1 when divided by p. So in this case, the correct answer is option A. We'll be loading the next question very shortly. We have 310 people live on the stream. If you guys can please like the stream, there are around 200 likes. If you can have close to 220 likes, that will be very useful. Many people have asked us for a compilation of all the free resources that we have, so that they want to make the best use of the remaining 10 days. If you are looking to make the best use and if you want to know what are all the things that we are giving to students who are preparing for CAT, please go to kraku.in/. CAT 2020 countdown. The link for that will be there in the description. It is just CAT 2020 countdown, and if you search this with along with Kraku, you will be able to get that page. That page has a lot of videos, revision videos, which cover all the quant, LRD and verbal. It also has the very famous top 100 quant questions. There are two installments. One we did last year of the top 100 quant questions for CAT. The link for that is there even in YouTube. It is there even in our CAT 2020 countdown page. It has all the formula PDFs. I would strongly recommend that you download these formula PDFs and keep revising them every day. At least spend 10-15 minutes in going through all the formulas, because you never know which formula will prove handy in the examination. And it also has links to our free CAT mocks. So go to this page, kraku.in/CAT 2020 countdown. Okay, I'm quite happy. We have 109 questions, 109 people who got it correct. This is a very easy question, I know that, but still, if 100 people have gotten it correct, close to 120 people, that shows that people are at least preparing on some level in a serious manner. So that is quite helpful, and it is also motivating to teachers if they see that students are preparing well for the examination. We have 130 people, close to 130 people who have gotten this correct, and close to 60 people who have gotten this wrong. So let us try to figure it out. So in this question, we are told to find the remainder when 13 to the power 73 plus 40 to the power 73 is divided by 53. So if we have two numbers, A and B, and if both of them are raised to the same exponent, say n, and you are asked what is the remainder when A to the power n plus B to the power n is divided by A plus B, if n is odd, then A to the power n plus B to the power n is always divisible by A plus B. Remember this as a theorem, it is quite easy to prove this. In this particular case, we have 73 to be odd, and 13 plus 40 is equal to 53. As 73 is odd, 13 to the power 73 plus 40 to the power 73 is definitely divisible by 53, which is the sum of 13 and 40. There are many ways in which you can prove this also, because you can say that 13 is equal to 53 minus 40. So you can write 13 to the power 73 as 53 minus 40 to the power 73 plus 40 to the power 73. Now if you expand this expression, you will have minus 40 to the power 73 at the end, which will get cancelled with plus 40 to the power 73, and every other term starting with the first term, which is 53 to the power 73 minus 73 into 53 to the power 72 into 40, etc., etc. All the remaining terms will have at least 153. So the only two terms which don't have 53 get cancelled. So the overall sum will be divisible by 53. This is true because 73 is an odd number. If 73 was an even number, the last term in this particular case will not be minus 40 to the power 73. It will be plus 40 to the power 74, say, because that is an even number. Then you can't cancel both of these terms off, because of which it might not be divisible by A plus B if n is even. But whenever n is odd, you know for sure that A to the power n plus B to the power n is divisible by A plus B. So in this particular case, 13 to the power 73 plus 40 to the power 73 is divisible by 53. So the remainder is equal to 0. Okay, we'll be giving the next question. Anybody who wants to take part in the test, please go to kraku.in/live to take part in the test. We still have 6 questions to go. I think from now on the questions will start getting slightly tougher. So if you want to take part in the test, please go ahead and join. I'll be loading the next question quite shortly. If you have any doubts, please ask in the chat. What if power is even? Srijan Vats is asking, if the power is even, then we can't say for sure if a to the power n plus b to the power n is divisible by a plus b. Okay, the next question has loaded. This is an interesting question. We are giving 3 minutes for this question. Arjun Sethi is asking, what if the power is even? If the power is even, then we can't say for sure if a to the power n plus b to the power n is divisible by a plus b. In some cases it will be divisible, but that is if a and b have some common factors or those kind of things, then it might be divisible. But we know for sure that if n is odd, a to the power n plus b to the power n is always divisible by a plus b. So many people got it correct. Within a minute, I'm actually quite impressed. I just hope there is no, like earlier, like a few streams ago, maybe a couple of months back when we just started streaming, there was some way in which people were hacking the system. By hacking the system, they were able to figure out the answer within like a few seconds. This I felt was a slightly difficult question. So on the one hand, I'm actually quite impressed that 30 people got it correct very early. On the other hand, I'm a little worried that maybe they were able to figure out some way in which they can know the answer without really solving. We have close to a minute left for this question. Try to solve it. Abhishek Bilamora is asking, any tips for CAT 2020 students, as we know only 10 days are remaining. It is difficult for me to really give you any life-changing tips because there are only 10 days left. I would just say that on the day of the examination, try to commit as few silly mistakes as possible. I think that is still in your hands. If you start thinking about the examination and start telling yourself on a subconscious level also that you don't want to commit any silly mistakes, I think you will still be able to cut down on the silly mistakes that you will do on that day. Other than that, start taking as many mocks as you can. In the last 10 days, try to take at least say 6 mocks and just hope for the best. Okay guys, let us look at this question. Shivam Mishra is saying, sir, we are not hacking your questions, help us do so first. I'm actually quite happy, man. If I'll be extremely happy if 100 guys have gotten this correct, which seems to be the case. I think people are preparing quite well, which is very motivating for a teacher to see that students are putting in a lot of effort. So let us look at the question that is given. We are told that P is equal to 9 plus 99 plus 999 plus dot 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 till 999999, which is repeated 400 times. What we are asked to find out is to find out the sum of the digits of P, that is called Q. And once you find out the sum of the digits of P, which is Q, you have to figure out the remainder when Q is divided by 11. So to do that, let us try to simplify the value of P. P is 9 plus 99 plus 999 plus so on. So you can write 9 as 10 minus 1. You can write 99 as 100 minus 1. You can write 999 as 1000 minus 1 and so on. And the last term, which is 9 repeated 400 times, is equal to 10 to the power 400 minus 1. So if you are simplifying this, you will first get a geometric progression which will involve all the positive terms, which is 10 plus 100 plus 1000 plus dot 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 plus 10 to the power 400 minus, you have minus 1 which is repeated 400 times. So this is minus 400. Now what is the value of 10 plus 100 plus 1000 plus dot 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 till 10 to the power 400? You can calculate it on your own. It is a geometric progression. That is one way to calculate it. Or if you just look at it, 10 plus 100 is 110. 110 plus 1000 is 1110, and so on. And then you have, say, the next term will be 10,000. So if you're adding 10,000 to it, you'll add another one which is to the left. Finally, you'll have 10 to the power 400. So you will basically have 400 ones and a 0. This is 400 minus 400. So if you are having 400 ones and then minus 400, just let us look at the last 4 terms. So you have 1, 1, 1, 0 minus 400, and ahead of it you have many ones. The number of ones over here is 397. These will not be disturbed by the subtraction of minus 400. So if you are subtracting minus 400 from 1110, this will become 0 and this will become 7. So the value of P, if you simplify, is equal to 397 times 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Then you have a 0, then you have a 7, then you have 1, and you have a 0. This is the value of P. So what is the sum of the digits of P? The sum of the digits of P is 397 plus 7 plus 1. That is the value of Q, which is the sum of all the digits of P. This becomes equal to 404 plus 1, which is 405. Now what is the remainder when Q is divided by 11? If you are dividing 405 by 11, you will have to figure out the greatest number which is less than 405 but is divisible by 11. So that number will be 396. So the remainder when Q is divided by 11 is 405 minus 396, which is equal to 9. This is option C. It is quite impressive that 98 people have gotten this question correct, because I felt that this was a question which is slightly on the tougher side. It will involve a lot of calculations also, but still it is actually quite impressive. So we'll be loading the next question. Nishank Shah is saying, sir, can you repeat please? I would recommend you to watch this stream after it ends, so that you will be able to go through all the important concepts that we have mentioned. Because if I repeat things, it will there will be some people who have understood it, so it will just be a waste of time for them, which I don't want to do. I want to cover as many questions as possible when we are doing the stream. If you are facing any issues, please watch the stream later. It will be still there on our channel. If you're not able to understand it, you can always leave a comment. We'll try to answer it. So let me see if I can answer any other questions. Rishabh Singh is saying, sir, saw your 6-hour video. Was completely exhausted when it ended, but it really helped. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot, Shivam. Thanks a lot, Rishabh. We are getting a lot of views for our top 100 quant questions video. I am quite happy that it has helped you. Anybody who is looking for a good compilation of questions which are very important for CAT, please go through our top 100 quant questions for CAT video. That will be there on our stream. Harshvardhan is saying, sir, how good are chances for a reserved candidate if I am scoring 90 plus percentile in mocks? That would depend even on many things. That would depend on what reservation you have, because for different categories the cutoffs will be different. But if you are scoring well, if you are scoring 90 plus percentile in mocks, I would say your chances are good. Try to give your best, try to improve your score. Don't be satisfied with 90%. Try to see if you can improve it to say 95 or 96, then you will be in a much better position. Okay, 54 people have gotten this question correct. 125 people have gotten it wrong, which is interesting. This is also a very interesting question. I felt this is not a very easy question. This is a slightly tricky question, but this is more conceptual based. I don't think this involves a lot of calculations. So try to see if you are able to understand the explanation. If you are not able to understand the explanation, you can always ask the doubt. I'll try to answer it before we go to the next question, because I think this is an important concept that people should understand. In this question, we are told that a number has an even number of even factors and an odd number of odd factors. Which of the following can be the square of that number? So let us assume that the number is n. We are asked to find out which of this will be n square. So if you are assuming that n is of the form 2 to the power a into 3 to the power b into 5 to the power c into 7 to the power d and so on, this is the prime factorization of n. What is the total number of factors that n has? The total number of factors that n has will be a plus 1 into b plus 1 into c plus 1 into d plus 1 and so on. But here we are told that the number of even factors is even and the number of odd factors is odd. Let us first look at the fact that the number of odd factors is odd. If you have a factor which is odd, it would imply that the power of 2 in that factor is 0. So we are told that all the odd factors, the multiplication of b plus 1 into c plus 1 into d plus 1 dot dot dot, this is odd. Now you have the product of a list of numbers which is odd. This would imply that each one of them individually is odd. That is, b plus 1 is odd, c plus 1 is odd, d plus 1 is odd and so on. So this would imply that b is even, c is even and so on. So all the powers of prime factors which are not equal to 2, the power is even in n. The only thing we'll have to figure out is what about the power of 2. We are told that the number even has an even number of even factors. That is, if you are looking at a factor which is of the form 2 to the power x into 3 to the power y into 5 to the power z and so on, and if this is an even factor, the values that x can take are either 1 or 2 or dot 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 till a, which is the highest power of 2 which is there in n. The values that y can take is from 0 till b. Similarly, the values that z can take is again from 0 till c. That is, the power of 2 can be any of these a numbers. The power of 3 can be any of the b plus 1 numbers because even 0 is included. The power of c is again any of the c plus 1 numbers and so on. This product is even. That is, a into b plus 1 into c plus 1 into dot dot dot. This is even. But what we are told is that if you exclude a from this, the remaining numbers, the remaining product of b plus 1, c plus 1, etc. is odd. This is given to us as we have discussed earlier. This would imply that a itself has to be even. So to summarize, because the number of odd factors is odd, and if you exclude the power of 2, the product of all the other numbers has to be odd, which would imply that each of those numbers, that is b, c, etc., has to individually be even. Now if you are including a, the power of 2 has to be at least equal to 1, only then will the factor be an even number. And this, if you are including a, the product is even, which would imply that a itself is even. So you have n, and if you are doing the prime factorization of n, which is 2 into 3 into 5 into dot dot dot, the powers of each one of them is an even number. So 2 to the power will be something like 2x, 3 to the power will be something like 2y, 5 to the power will be something like 2z and so on. This is essentially saying that n is a perfect square. Because the power of each of the prime factors is a even number. Now if n is a perfect square, we are asked to find out which of the following 4 options is a possible value for the square of n, that is for n square. If n square is equal to option A, which is 40,000, the value of n will be equal to 200, which is the square root of 40,000. If n square is equal to 22,500, the value of n will be equal to 150. If n square is equal to 10,000, the value of n will be equal to 100. and if the value of n square is 62,500, the value of n will be equal to 250. Now we want n to be a perfect square, so the only perfect square among the 4 options is option C, which is 100. Over here this number has to be n square, so you have to first take the square root and then figure out if that itself is a perfect square. So now that we have done this, let us go to the next question. This I think is a slightly easier question. I hope to see again 100 people get this question correct. Prashant Mugadar is saying your channel is too good. I don't know from where you bring those tricky questions. We hire a lot of good people. So we hire a lot of people who have done well in CAT last year and who are attempting CAT again this year. So anybody who has scored around say 97 to 98 percentile, who has done well in CAT, who has the potential to do better, we hire those guys as our content managers. So we discuss with them quite a lot, we brainstorm with them, and we help them in preparing most of these good questions. So these are the questions that we go through, we discuss multiple times, we check multiple times to ensure that they are also good and the quality is good. But those are the guys who actually build the question. So if you are looking to join us, please send your email to support@cracku.in. We are looking for people who have scored say 97 percentile or so and who are sure to take CAT next year. So we don't really hire immediately, but immediately after CAT is over, we'll probably launch our first recruitment drive. So if you're looking to join us, please send your resume to support@cracku.in. We have close to 300 people watching this stream. We have only 250 likes. If you guys can like it and if you can get another 20-25 likes, you can take it to 275 likes. That will be very useful. There are many people from my team who are actually working on this stream live right now, say 9:30 p.m. So if you guys can please like it, it will mean a lot to those people. Jatin Lalwani is saying, is hiring also for part-time? No, it is not for part-time, it is a full-time role only. And we'll start the hiring sometime in December. Okay, as expected, we have 100 people who got this correct. So that is very interesting. Animesh Jain is saying, can I work with Cracku before I join my MBA college? Yeah, I think you can definitely do that. Some people actually do that. They join us immediately after CAT is over and they work with us till they join the MBA Institute in June or July. So that is also possible for a few months. But please send your resume to support@cracku.in. Most of these guys work with us when they are giving their GDPS. So that is also an interesting time. So in this question, we are told that P is equal to 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial plus dot 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 plus 98 factorial plus 99 factorial. We are required to find out the units digit of P to the power 2017. If you are looking to find out the units digit of P to the power 2017, let us first find out the units digit of P and then multiply it 2017 times with itself to find out the units digit. So if you're trying to find out the units digit of P, you know that after a point of time, the units digit of any factorial will be equal to 0. So for example, 1 factorial, the units digit is 1, which is equal to 1 itself. The units digit of 2 factorial is 2. The units digit of 3 factorial is 6. The units digit of 4 factorial, which is equal to 24, is equal to 4. The units digit of 5 factorial is equal to 0 because 5 factorial is 120. Similarly, 6 factorial also the units digit will be 0 and so on. Any factorial which is greater than 6, the units digit will be equal to 0 because they will be divisible by 10. So if you are adding all of these up, what is the units digit of P? The units digit of P will be 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 4. That is the units digit of 13, which is equal to 3. So the units digit of P is 3. So what we are essentially asked to find out is what is the units digit when 3 in 3 to the power 2017. 3 has a cyclicity of 4, that is 3 to the power 1. The units digit is 3. 3 square, the units digit is 9. 3 cube, the units digit is 7 because that is 27. 3 to the power 4, it is 81. 3 to the power 5, again it will repeat and it will become equal to 3. 3 to the power 6, the last digit will be 9, and so on. So as you can see, it has a cyclicity of 4. So if you're trying to find out the last digit of 2007, 3 to the power 2017, try to figure out what is the remainder when 2017 is divided by 4. What is the remainder when 2017 is divided by 4? That is equal to 1, because 2016 is a multiple of 4. So when 3 to the power 2017 is divided by 10, the remainder is, which is essentially the last digit of 3 to the power 2017, is equal to 3. So the answer in this case is option B. Okay, let us look at the last question. I think there are another 3 questions. Rakshesuri is saying, this session is insightful. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Laksh. Anshuman Dekha is saying, this is a tongue twister. Yeah, man, sometimes I get stuck, especially when I'm streaming and I have to talk a lot. I get, my tongue gets twisted. Okay, guys, we have 330 people who are watching the stream. If you guys can please like the stream, then we'll cross 300 likes. It will be quite good. Uddeshya Harsh is saying, I've purchased the full course of Krakow and the UI analysis part and everything is just awesome. Thanks a lot, Uddeshya. It means a lot when premium students appreciate the effort that we have put in. Thanks a lot. Vivek Mishra is saying, do we get percentiles in free cat mock and dash mocks? Yes, Vivek, we do get a very good analysis in our dash cats, and even in the free mock. You know how much time each of the student has spent, you know how much time the toppers have spent, how many students have gotten it correct. All the important analysis which we think are useful, we give them. Wow, there are no person who has gotten this correct. I think this is a TETA question, so probably that is the reason people are not getting it correct. But again, I thought this is not very difficult. Interesting. And the number of students who take our mocks also is in thousands. It is, I read somewhere that people are thinking that only around, like, say 500 people or 600 people take our mocks. That is not true. Thousands of people take our mocks. For example, Dashcat 1, the first Dashcat, it's taken by I think around 3000 people, which is a good number of test takers for you to get an idea of how you are performing. Okay, I hope there is no mistake in in either the question or in the technology, because there is nobody who has gotten this question correct. There are 90 people who have gotten this question wrong. How many integers lie between 1000 and 7000? Okay, I think maybe people have not gotten this even integers. I don't know. Okay, one guy has gotten it correct. I don't know who got it correct, but I'm actually quite happy. So you got it correct. Very interesting, man. Very impressive. The correct answer is 1512, so I'm assuming Savik got it correct. You have gotten it correct, and out of I think 125 people, so you should definitely give yourself a pat on the back. So let us try to answer it. More than a number systems questions, I felt number system question, I felt this was more of a permutation combination question, but still it was an interesting question, so I put it. So let us see, we are asked to find out the number of even integers which lie between 1000 and 7000, which have 4 different digits. So we have 4 blanks which we are supposed to fill out, and we want them to be an even integer. So you want the last digit to be even. What are the different last digits? The different even numbers. The different even numbers to fill in the last digit are 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. Now let us consider there is also a restriction on the first digit, because you want these numbers to be lying between 1000 and 7000. The first digit can be only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. there is no such restriction on the middle two digits. It doesn't matter what the middle digits are for the number to be an even number. Similarly, it doesn't matter what the middle digits are for the number to lie between 1000 and 7000. The only restriction that is there is on the first digit and the last digit. So let us consider different cases. Let us consider the first case. We'll first identify the last digit and then we'll go with the first digit. The first case is that the last digit is 0. The second case is that the last digit is either 2 or 4 or 6. The third case is that the last digit is 8. The reason for that is because we are just looking at which of them has any intersection with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So if in the first case, if the last digit is equal to 0, the first digit can be any of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. There is no additional restriction on it. So it can take any of the 6 values. Now the second digit can take any of the last two digits, any of the digits which are not either 0, which is the last digit, or whichever number we have selected for the first digit. So it has 8 options. Similarly, the third digit can have 7 options because you are removing the first and second digit and you are also removing 0. So the total number in this particular case is 6 into 8 into 7, which is equal to 56 into 6, which is equal to 336. In the second case, when you have the last digit to be either 2 or 4 or 6, you are cutting down an option for the first digit because the first digit can be only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So in this particular case, the first digit can be any of the remaining 5 digits. The last digit can be any of these 3 numbers, which is 2 or 4 or 6. And the second and the third digits are the same as in the first case. The second digit can be any of the remaining 8 numbers and the third one can be any of the remaining 7 numbers. So the total in this particular case is 5 into 8 into 7 into 3. 5 into 8 is 40. 40 into 3 is 120 into 7 is 840. This is 5 into 8 into 7 into 3. In the last case, we are having the last digit to be equal to 8. The number will be very similar. The calculation also will be very similar to the first case. Now, because the last digit is 8, you can select the last digit in exactly one case. The first digit, again, there is no overlap. It can be any of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So you can select it in 6 ways. Once you selected the first digit and the last digit, the second digit can be selected in 8 ways. You can pick any of the remaining 8 digits. And the third one can be selected in any of the remaining 7 digits. So the total again is 6 into 8 into 7, which is 336. So the total number of cases are 336 plus 840 plus 336. 336 plus 336 is 672. So if you total them up, the answer will be 1512. Now let us look at the last question. No, I think the last two questions. My throat is I started to hurt a little, so I'll just try to answer some questions. Sherwani Singh is saying, while taking daily targets, my rank is always shown out of 500 people, while total test takers are around 1500. Please tell me why it is so. That I'm not so sure. I don't understand the question. It might probably be because you have taken the test probably early in the morning, but many people are taking the test even late in the night, or maybe people are taking the test later on also. So I don't know. Maybe that is the reason. But if you have any issues, if you think there is a technical problem, please send the details to support@cracko.in. If you feel that there is some inconsistency with the rankings, it is possible that there might be a bug which we'll try to fix. Please send the details to support@cracko.in. We'll try to fix it. There are 320 people who are watching this live. If you guys can please like the stream, that will be very motivating to not just me but my entire team, which is is helping us in conducting these streams. And please subscribe to the channel and please click on the bell icon. And if you want to join our Telegram group, the link to join the Telegram group is given in the description. It is a very active Telegram group. There are more than 6,500 people who are active on it. I'm sure it will be very useful for you, especially with just 10 days to go. Okay, I think 35 people have gotten this correct. 40 people have gotten it correct and 89 people have gotten it wrong. So this also I think was slightly on the more difficult side. So let us try to answer this. In this question we are asked to find out the number of zeros when 119 factorial is written in base system of 9. What we are expected to find out is what is the highest power of 9 that is present in 119 factorial. Before we go into this specific example, if you are trying to find out the highest power of a prime number p in n factorial, the way to proceed is calculate the value of n divided by p, take the integral part out of it, then add it to the integral part of n divided by p square, then add it to the integral part of n divided by p cube, and so on. That will give you the highest power of a prime number p in n factorial. In this particular case, 9 is not a prime number. 9 is actually equal to 3 square. So what we will do is we will try to figure out what is the highest power of 3 in 119 factorial as the first step. So what is the highest power of 3 in 119 factorial? That will be equal to 119 divided by 3. Take the integral part of it plus integral part of 119 by 9 plus integral part of 119 by 27 plus integral part of 119 by 81. Any other power of 3, the next one is 81 into 3, which is 243, which is greater than 119, so we can ignore the remaining terms. 119 by 3 will be 39 point something, 39.67, so the integral part will be 39. 119 by 9, the integral part will be 13. 119 by 27, the integral part will be 4. And 119 by 81, the integral part will be equal to 1. So the highest power of 3 in 119 factorial is 39 plus 13, which is 52, plus 5, which is 57. So the highest power of 3 is 3 to the power 57 in 119 factorial. So what is the highest power of 9 in 119 factorial? That will be 57 divided by 2. Again, you will take the integral part out of it, which is equal to 28. So the correct answer in this case is 28. Now let us look at the last question. This I think is a slightly easy question. I hope to see many people get this correct. I don't know if this is if this has options. This doesn't have options. This is also a theta question. So I'm not so sure how many people will get it correct, but I hope to see at least 30-40 people get this correct. Anybody who is looking to make the best use of the remaining 10 days, please bookmark this page. This is our crackku.in CAT 2020 countdown. This has extremely useful material for CAT. This has very important formula PDFs. This has free mocks. This has the revision videos. This has previous papers of CAT 2017, 2018, 2019. So all the very important resources have been compiled into one page. So please bookmark this page and try to make the best use of the remaining 10 days. Yeah, this is a theta question, so I think many people are not getting this correct. But still, I think I would want to see more people get this correct. This is not a very difficult question. Yeah, I think in theta questions, many people are not able to get the question correct. Because this is definitely not a question which 3 people should get correct and 57 people should get it wrong. I don't think this is that difficult a question. Okay, let us try to answer this. A number n, when divided by 6, leaves a remainder of k. So n is of the form 6p plus k, but when this is divided by 12, it leaves a remainder of 3k. So n is equal to 12 into q plus 3k. We are required to find out the number of values that n can take if it is known that n and k are natural numbers and both of them are less than 100. So n and k, both of them are natural numbers and both of them are less than 100. If you look at the first equation, n is of the form 6p plus k, and if you look at the second equation, n is of the form 12q plus 3k. The right hand side in the second equation is a multiple of 3. This is equal to 3 into 4q plus k. So n itself is a multiple of 3. So if you are looking at 6p plus k, this has to be a multiple of 3. 6p by itself is a multiple of 3. What this would imply is that k is a multiple of 3. If k is a multiple of 3, we know that k is the remainder when n is divided by 6. So k also has to be less than 6. There is only one multiple of 3 which is a natural number less than 6, and that is if k is equal to 3. So n is of the form 12q plus 3k, which is equal to 9. Note that if you divide 12q plus 9 by 6, the remainder will be equal to 3. Because 12q plus 9, you can write it as 12q plus 6 plus 3. 12q plus 6 is a multiple of 6, and 3 will be the remainder when n is divided by 6. So we are supposed to identify all the natural numbers which are less than 100, which are of the form 12q plus 9. You can make q to be equal to 0. In that particular case, n will be equal to 9. If q is equal to 1, n will be equal to 21, and so on. If q is equal to 7, the value of n will be equal to 12 into 7, which is 84, plus 9, which is 93. When q becomes equal to 8, the value of n will become equal to 105, which is greater than 100. So this is not valid. So all the possible values of n are when q varies from 0 to 7. So the total number of possibilities is 8. So this is the quiz. Hargav got 18, Vivek Mishra got 18, and Atul Anand got 15. Sachin Joshi came close. He got 15, but he is not in the top 3. People who came in the top 3, please send a mail to support@cracku.in. I think you will get a package for free. The package, I think, is the 5 mock package for CAT. Anyway, just send a mail to support@cracku.in and we'll give you a package for free. If you have any doubts, please ask them now. I'll try to answer 1 or 2 questions before we end the stream. Manthan Tyagi is saying, your resources have helped me a lot. Thanks a lot. Sumit Kumar Gupta is saying, why you guys are not marketing this? I wish I knew Cracku earlier. There are so many guys who tell us the same thing, that they wished that they knew about Cracku earlier. The reason we are not marketing is very simple. We are a very small company. We don't have a lot of marketing budget, but you can help us a lot. All the guys who are watching this, if you think that these sessions are helping you, or if you think Cracku is helping you, please tell it to your friends. We really need your help. If you tell it to 1 or 2 friends of yours who are preparing for CAT, or for your juniors who plan to prepare for CAT next year, it will mean a lot to us. And a small company like ours will really be extremely grateful if you can spread good word about Cracku. Let me know if you have any other queries. I'll probably take another 2 questions. Please like the stream also. There are, I think, 330 people who have liked it. Sarthak Jain is saying, sir, I also got 15 marks. I want a prize. Okay, Sarthak, just send a mail to support@cracku.in. Krishna Vamsi Padalai saying thank you so much, sir, for the regular sessions. Thanks a lot, Krishna Vamsi. Your words of encouragement mean a lot. We plan to conduct these streams regularly, so please subscribe to the channel and please click on the bell icon. We plan to conduct another stream on Friday, so please, I look forward to seeing you there. Abhishek Singh is saying DLR, how to go with the overall section. DLR, as I was saying earlier, one of the most important thing is getting the first set correct. Very important. So put a lot of emphasis on selecting the first set and also have a priority order in mind. So once the section starts, spend the first 1 or 2 minutes in trying to identify the priority order in which you want to attempt the sets, so that you don't get confused if you get stuck in any set. That is about it. That is about it. If you have any doubts, please comment below the video and we will try to answer it. All the best. Make the best use of the remaining 10 days. Please bookmark our Kraku CAT 2020 countdown page. It has a lot of very good resources which will help you in making the best use of the remaining 10 days.